Okay, so what we're going to talk about today are band systems. So there are a lot of different band systems. You might be seeing some of these on social media. I know I certainly have over the years, and I wanted to walk through my journey with these systems and just tell you a little bit about each system and some of the strengths of each system. So the original system that I got was just these four bands. So we've got dark gray, black, light gray, and white. A bar. This used to have nice little logos on the end. I'm not sure what happened to those. It's got hooks for the bands so that you can use it like a barbell, and it also comes with a platform so that you can safely do exercises on the platform without putting the band under your feet. I gotta tell you, I bought this in 2020 and I used it a couple times and did not stick with it. And when I say a couple of times, it was probably literally maybe 2 or 3 times. It sat in the dungeon, this dungeon where we just work out. It's not it's a basement, typical Western New York basement. And it sat, and I didn't really pick it back up till 2024. Tried it a few times and I would manage to do like 2 or 3 weeks, and then something would come up and I would fall off track, and then I would try and get back on track, and it just wasn't really sticking. And then in March of 2025, I started doing it the way it was intended. And if you look up the program online, it is 4 exercises. They have a push day and a pull day, so it's a total of 8 exercises, and it's literally 4 sets. And this is what I did. And at the time that I started really doing that in a consistent basis, I was over 200, I think it was 252 or 62, 262 pounds. I've been 250 to 280 most of my adult life. And I did those 4 exercises consistently, and it was a game changer. If this was not invented, I don't know, maybe something else would have stuck. I'd like to think that something else would have stuck, but it was the simplicity of how they were getting users to do it. They were reaching out to a market that does not know anything about exercise. They're ashamed to go to a gym, maybe. I know I was. They could watch stuff on YouTube, but they didn't have the right equipment. It's expensive to get equipment. That's actually why you're about to see all these different sets are kind of piecemeal. It was just, and it wasn't cheap. It was $550. That was a lot of money to me at the time, to invest in something that sat for almost 5 years. Thankfully it was here though, because when I did do it, it worked beautifully with James Clear's Atomic Habits concepts. Made it easy, it made it portable. I was able to bring it traveling. I was able to make it obvious. I used to leave it out in the doorway at the hotel. So basically I would shame myself into saying, you don't have 15-20 minutes, and I would do the work. So hands down, if you're in that group where you just don't know where to start, you don't know what to do, and you need something simple that can create a habit that can also make you feel good, you can stop the video right now. This is definitely where you need to begin your journey. This is where I started my journey, and it's, you know, we'll go into why there's improvements down the road in some of the other systems, but at the end of the day, a $550 investment was a bargain for what it gave me in building a habit, getting me moving, and having a structured program where I didn't have to guess and feel like I was lost. I could learn 4 exercises. They were tough. At times they were really tough. There were times where I had to basically pretend I was doing it with no band because I couldn't, with my shoulder, possibly do an overhead press. I couldn't. My shoulder was too damaged, which brought me to the next thing that I added to the arsenal was this lightweight orange band that they came out with. And so I bought this probably around in 2024 when I was trying to, and I was getting on and off maybe a couple weeks at a time. This would have been late September. I remember taking before pictures, and I remember I was at an event, and it was September, and I remember having this because I was trying to get that going then, and I was trying to get those overhead presses, and this really was a game changer. It was an ultralight. It allowed me to build up the strength that I needed in that shoulder, so I highly recommend that if you just know that you have aches and pains, I'll save you the trouble. Just get this one right away. I think it was like $26. Definitely worth the investment. Now, with these bands, they have you'll notice they have a square edge, so they're a square like that. And I've got to point that out because the next investment I made, and this would have been probably May, June last year, were the Paraforce bands, which have a distinctly rounded edge. They're made of, I believe, a different material. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert here. But it feels like a different material. I know the force curve is steeper, if I said that right. If I didn't, that's fine. I'm sure people can't wait to correct. And I also picked this up. So these came as a set, just like the original set, which is the white, light gray, dark gray, and black. To date, I'm not up to black yet. And, for my goals right now, I'll get there and build that strength and get to that black. So that's why I love having them anyways. And then the Paraforce version of the orange. And this really worked out nice because then at this time, my wife got interested in doing the bands with me. So any of you that are married know that you generally want to make sure you get a set of 2. This squat belt I think it was some sort of promo. There was some reason, I think I got this, I tried it. I have only used it a couple times. Honestly, I just do air split squats at the moment. I'm toying around with the idea of modifying this a little bit, but I don't recommend that. Probably should just buy whatever squat belt for whatever system you're going to use. I do know that people rave about it. I think the idea is that you put it around your waist and then you hold the bar one way and another way with the hooks. So you got to kind of be like this. And then the bar would go under this leg, and then it would catch this hook on this leg, and then you would just do your split squats, and you would get the tension of the band. I saw some harness types. I think that makes a little bit more sense. But anyways, I'll let you know if I ever adapt it. Probably won't. But that led to another purchase because I knew I was going to need 2 bars because my wife started getting interested and we started trading sets. So I would do a set, then she would do a set. I would do a set, then she would do a set using the same equipment. And then I would switch out bands in between if we were at different band sizes. I did get this bar, the X3 Force. This measures the force, which is, it's like a weight equivalent if you were doing free weights with the Force app. And I got to tell you that it was great. And it was great up to the point when you couldn't measure the force of anything but the original 8 exercises. And I get why they do that, because that's their system, right? They're not preaching do 50 sets and make custom exercises. They're preaching a program that has, the 4 exercises, and then they have more advanced programs for, serious bodybuilders. I think it's called the West Side program, which is pretty popular. However, the downfall of the app is you can't, those exercises aren't available in there unless maybe you're a member of that program. Maybe that's the thing that I didn't have. So I was restricted to the 8 exercises, but I was doing a lot of custom exercises with a coach. So that was kind of the downside to it. I did track it both there and in Trainerize for quite some time. And then iOS 26 came out, it got really buggy, and then I stopped using the Force part of it. It's a great bar. I do really love the hardiness of the X3 bars. They're just nice and sturdy. However, I don't use it for the Force part anymore. That app was just not, in my opinion, and I am a software business coach, so I am in the business of evaluating software, for sure, a specific software, but it just wasn't a good software. Anyways, that led to getting the second platform for my wife, which ended up coming with an X3 long bar. And this thing's pretty awesome, especially for like chest press. If you want to get like a wider grip, this is a great bar. It's like a bigger, more of a barbell feel. Deadlifts also, if you just want like that wide, a little bit of a wider stance, the long bar is great. So I was excited about that. I was just looking for a platform, and it had the long bar, and it also had almost a set of original bands. So we had extra bands. So life was great. It actually was super peachy at that time. And not that it's not great now, but I just mean, we both had systems. We had the 3 bands minus the white. There was this blue Series steel band. I don't think anybody's ever used it, so it's kind of a waste at this point. However, we were doing that really, really consistently. And then, as social media likes to do, I was getting bombarded with this Harambe system. Actually, it was a cyber bundle. It'll bring it up close because it's worth bringing up. And I gotta admit that my first impression of Harambe, he's in a commercial and he's holding this, and that right away just kind of, I get why he's trying to point out an issue that some companies have had with bands. And I don't think any band manufacturer is exempt from this, but it's this kind of behavior. These bands don't get used anymore. They're not I don't want to find out if they're safe or So they don't get used, and as a matter of fact, that's part of the reason for doing the videos, so that I can get those recycled. And the point of the Harambe system is that it has these rollers on the long side and the short side, so that your bands stretch freely. And part of the advertisement is that if I hold the band like this, I'm only getting that much force out of the band, because I'm not getting the full force of the band. So that's the problem that it was trying to solve, was getting the full force of the band and preventing the hard edges to get the full force. And so it took me a while to warm up to it, just because I'm so grateful to that system for exactly what it did for me, and I imagine it did for hundreds, if not thousands, of others who just didn't know where to start, and it got them into being fit. So I did not go into getting the whole cyber bundle. What I did do was I got the Cyberplate, I got the handles with a pair of rods and a pair of 2 sets of ropes. That's part of their unique system. So instead of the hooks, they use a rope and rod system, and there's definitely some advantages to that we'll talk about in a moment. A foam block, which I thought was neat. It's just a nice place to rest the bar, and it kind of encourages you not to slam the bar down, which I have been guilty of. I over-ordered ropes for some reason, so I got another set of ropes, and I got a door anchor because I travel. And I'll tell you that when I got this, it took me it's beautiful. A for design, the thoughtfulness, the quality of the materials, the buttery smooth operation, hands down, far superior than the platforms I was using before, and it should be, because the cost of the platform itself is the price of the whole system, so it should be better, and it is a much different experience. I actually felt like I almost felt like Ivan Drago in Rocky IV in the lab, like I was standing on this precision thing. Anyways, the quality was just really, really good. The only downside on the quality is at the, I don't want to show it on make too big of a deal, but I could kind of see the top of the leg head, the leg head where it meets the platform here. I don't know if it was a scuff or something, but everything else, the rods, you can just feel the quality. The ropes, I understand them now, because I used the same bands. So I was using the Paraforce bands with the long bar to test the system out. So I was using it like that with these bands, and because I was wary, I invested a bit of money in the system that I had, didn't want to just jump the bandwagon, so it was a way I could kind of test my toe. So I was using it like this, and then figuring out how to use the T-handles, I believe is what they're called. Took a couple of tries. I was definitely hooking the ropes up wrong and the rods on wrong, and I had to watch a number of videos to get that far. And then just kind of figuring out the programs, because there's a lot of options on the Harambe site. And actually, you don't even have to be a customer. You can kind of peruse all their different programs and see all the different exercises. They're very, very generous with it. However, I feel as if I was where I was when I started my journey and I started with this, there's a good chance I would have struggled a lot harder. I won't say I would have failed, because I think I'm just stubborn, and when I put my mind to it, I think mindset was more of it. But I'm very thankful that I had that to help me build that habit. This tended to, there was a learning curve, and there wasn't like an exact program that was similar to what I was accustomed to. So I think for somebody who's used to working out and going to the gym, they would have a great, easy time navigating it, because they like kind of switching up different programs and different exercises. I wasn't used to that. I was kind of used to a certain set of exercises, and this just suddenly expanded my universe, and it was a little bit of shell shock. So that was my experience with it. It did come in convenient to have the door anchor for traveling. I did not travel with the Cyberplate because my wife loves the Cyberplate, and it's just not fair. So once I get a second one, then I'll have a travel one. Even though that is a big piece of equipment, I'm still not sure how I am going to transport that system, but I'll share a different part of the story in a moment on that. So that's, I think I had recorded a video about the time when I got the equipment brand new, kind of a first impressions of sorts, and then I haven't posted in quite some time. So from there, I did end up getting 2 more pieces for the Cyberplate system from Facebook Marketplace. Some of the pieces I don't have yet. It was just, without sharing the entire story, somebody did pick them up for me, and I'm gonna get it shipped here. I definitely know where they're at. I just haven't gotten around to getting it shipped up here to me yet. And that is the Cyber Bar, the full-size Cyber Bar, the arm bar, another set of T-handles, and some additional ropes, including sapphire ropes, and I forgot the other color. But it turns out these ropes, which I didn't understand in the beginning, and that'll be a good time to bring up, because you can see I've got yellow ropes here, and I've also got these green ropes, which came as part of the other system I got on Facebook Marketplace, which included these yellow ropes, these extra rods, travel rods, green ropes, Cyber Travel Bar. I believe these are travel T-handles, another set of rods and black ropes, another door anchor. So now we're starting to get some doubles, so we'll have 2 sets. Spacers. The spacers you can use with the ropes, and the different length ropes help you for like different height individuals and or different tensions, levels of tensions that you want to use. You can use the ropes, you can use spacers to basically manipulate the tension that you want in your set. It also came with another foam block. So now we've got 2 foam blocks. We've got 2 sets of handles, bunches of ropes. It came with another platform, which I believe is the OG Harambe system board. I do not know, but I know that when I go on the videos for the chest press, that's the head cutout, and the band goes under this way, and the foam block goes just under here. So pretty sure it's the OG. But I haven't really used that platform yet. I might travel with that one. And I got all the bands. And when I say all the bands, the orange, which is generally separate, which is a way lighter version than the other systems bands. Yellow, white, light green, dark green, black, and something I believe called the Blue Kong. These bands are 3 inches shorter. And when you think about the dynamics of that, I don't know if dynamics is the right word, but that's what I said. This platform's longer. The band's shorter. The bar is longer because they're really, especially like in a deadlift, trying to replicate a free weight. And I think the longer widths and the shorter band lengths they really give that system an advantage when you're looking to step up your game and have the full band, the full power of the band, but it is not a inexpensive system. If I didn't find, it was very hard to get this on Facebook Marketplace. I will tell you that much. And this also came with the bag. So there was a full travel bag that they actually shipped it in that had the platform, the bands, the foam block, all of this equipment in that one bag. And it was awesome, ready to go, backpack style. The issue that I might have with it is that I also pack generally a electronics backpack because I am a software business coach. I carry a clothes carry-on, and then I also carry my bag with this system in it because I've also got my supplements that I put in there. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna manage this. I'll have to give an update, but hopefully somebody found this video useful. This is definitely a huge upgrade for somebody that is got the habit into the exercising, willing to make the additional investment in their health and their fitness, and doesn't mind experimenting and trying different things because it does open up a whole world of opportunity for different exercises. And I hope you found this helpful. Be amazing today.